Hello guys, welcome back to my channel today. Today's lecture is going to be on a twist front dress. And we'll be making use of this pattern. As you can see, the patterns we have here, we have no darts here. So we just took our measurements of our bust divided by 4, waist divided by 4, and hip, round hip divided by 4. And you can see I drafted this pattern front and back. We have the back neckline, the back armhole, front armhole, and front neckline. So we are going to cut off our back bodies now from this one pattern. And you can see that I have this pattern on fold because of the front piece. Okay, we are going to spread it, open it up to have our full front bodies, but we are going to cut off through the back line now. Watch me cut. For this front twist dress, we are going to make use of this fabric. You can see how stretchy it is in all the directions. Very stretchy and light. Okay, that's what we are going to use to have a good result on our twist dress. If you don't use stretchy dress, it will not give you a fine twist. In fact, it will not twist at all. So make sure that you get yourself a stretchy dress, very stretchy one. Now I'm going to cut out my back pattern first. I'm going to cut my back following the back bodies I've cut from this pattern. So I'll be placing my fabric under it, as you can see. So you can see the seam allowances are added now. You can look at the neckline, 0.5 seam allowances all through has been added for the back bodies. So I'm going to take up this pattern and cut off for the front bodies. I'm working with a neck width of 3.5 inches for the front and a neck width of 4 inches for the front and the depth of 3.5 inches. So I'm going to cut off through my front neckline and cut off through my front armhole. I now have my front bodies. Now I'm going to open it up. Remember, it was on fold. Then I'm going to, now I have my full front bodies. Now let us jump into the twist dress. So the very first thing we are going to do is to identify our waist, center waist. And you can see this is our center front where the waist intersects with the center front. So from that point I'm going to go up by 2 inches. So from that center point I went up by 2 inches. This is 2 inches. So this is 2 inches all through, 2 inches. Then from the point of these 2 inches I'll go in by 3 inches. Now this will serve as our center point. Now I'm going to come over from the armhole by the side front, and I'm going to take from there 2.5 inches. I'll make my mark. Then I'm going to connect this 2.5 inches to the center point. This is 2.5 inches. From this point I have 2.5 inches. Then I connect to the center point. Then I'll come over to the waist and I'll go down by 3 inches. I'll make a mark from the waist. Then I'll connect back to the center point. Now we'll come over to the left hand side, and at this left hand side I'm going to take 2 inches from this point, just like I did here, and I'll make my mark. I'll connect from that 2 inches back to that center point. Now you can see that I've created 3 lines already. 1, 2, 3, coming down by 2.5 inches here, and 2.5 inches from this point, 3 inches here from the waist. And then I'm going to connect the 4th line from the center point to the waist. This is my mid armhole. You can see my mid armhole. From the point of this mid armhole, I'm going to take 2 inches downwards. I'll also do the same this way. Then I connect these 2 lines to the center point. I'm done connecting the 2 inches from the mid armhole to the point on the both sides. Then I'll go over to the shoulder and find the midpoint of my shoulder. I have a 375 here. I'll find the midpoints. So from these midpoints, I'm going to draw a straight line to this intersect. You can see I'm done connecting from the shoulder, mid shoulder to the center point. Now I'm going to find the midpoint. I'm going to find the midpoint. From these 3 inches, I have 9 inches, and the midpoint here is 4.5. I'll come over here and find the midpoint of, I have 11 inches here. The midpoint is 5.5. Then I'm going to connect this point to the same line. Then from my hip line, I'm going to find the midpoint of my hip line. I still have 5.5 here. I'll also connect my line. You can see this is where my center front terminates with my hem. I'm going to place my tape on that point. Then I'm going to find the midpoint. I have 11 inches here, so I have 5.5. I'll do the same here. The midpoint 5.5. Then I'll connect these lines to the center point. Now you can see we have so many lines connected to this center point. So I'm going to use a different marker to separate the lines, and then I'll label them. So you can see I use a different marker to separate these lines. So this blue line running through this way, and this one running through this way. So I'm going to label the upper part. That is my 1. And for this one, I'm going to call it 2. And I'm labeling this as 3. And I have this as 4 running through this way. So after demarcating this line, the next thing I'm going to do is to divide this section. I'm going to divide this side front into 4 equal parts. Then I will connect them back to the center line. I'm done connecting the section number 2. I'm done connecting it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. Then I'll go over to this place and divide into 4 sections and connect back to the center point. I'm done connecting the side of the front by the left to the center point. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut through this triangle. I'm going to cut them out now. So guys, you can see I have separated 2, 4, 1 and 3. And now I'm going to slash 1 and 4 together, then put 2 and 3 together. Okay, so I'm going to slash through these points. You can see I'm going to slash it and I'll show you. I'm going to cut through these lines. Please don't cut off the edge. I'm cutting all through this line. I'll do the same to the other lines. Take note that I cut through this tip, not from the base. Okay, so if you are cutting, please try and cut through the tip. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the part of 2. Remember, we are making use of 2 and 3 together, 1 and 4 together. So we are going to repeat this process of slashing all through 1, 4, 2 and 3. Alright guys, remember that I used 2 and 3. I combined 2 and 3 together. So I'm done slashing my 2 and slashing my 3, then I now put them together. Okay, so this part is the tip that we slashed through. Remember, you don't need to cut it off at all. You slash through the hem, you don't need to cut off too. Now I took a measurement of 10 inches to spread these 2 front twists. for the skirt parts. You see, it's 10 inches I took. So the most important thing is to ensure that the end of 2 and the other end of 2 aligns with the 3, the 2 ends. The measurement should start from the 2 ends, that is 10 inches from one end to the other. Okay, so now I'm going to add my seam allowances of 0.5. I'm going to add my seam allowance by the sides, then I'll add at the hem too. Then I'm going to cut it out now for you to see. Now guys, you can see I've added my seam allowances of 0.5 inches, 0.5 inch all over, half an inch all over this pattern. Okay, so you can see. Then I'm going to take out this pattern, then we'll work on the fabric. I've taken my pattern out. This is what I have right now. So this one will serve as the skirt part of it. Then let's go over to the upper part. This is section 1 and section 4. I'm going to slash through these lines and now put them together as I did in the other section. So you can see I've slashed 1 and section 4 I've slashed it. So I'm going to spread it just as I did before. Then I'm going to put it, make sure that this end and this end are aligned together. But I'm going to place my fabric, then I'll place it. I've spread 1 and 4, then pointing to the same direction just as I did in the last one. So I ensure that the measurement from one end of 1 and 4 is 10 inches, just the same with the other part. Now I'm going to add my seam allowances all through these bodies right now. Okay, then when I add it, I'll bring it back for you to see. But also ensure that the tip of these ends are touching each other. That's for one, the tip by the end, and the other end, their tips should be touching each other. That is the most important thing. Then you can spread across. Okay, so let me add my seam allowances, then I'll bring it back for you to see. Alright guys, this is what I have after adding my 0.5 inch seam allowances all around. So I'm going to take off this pattern, then we'll start twisting our front dress. So I'm going to start my twisting from the lower part of this front twist dress. So I'm going to pick up the tip of this, just watch what I'm doing, and I'm going to align it to the tip of this. Then I'm going to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew from this end 0.5 inch. I will stop at 1 inch. So I'm going to leave 1 inch opening here. Let me do that. So guys, I've done stitching this part and I stopped at 1 inch. So this 1 inch, I'm going to put my hand here, as you can see, then fold this way and pass it through this. So you can see I passed these upper bodies through this 1 inch hole, and I have it here. So I'm going to spread this towards this direction, and now I'm taking it this way to match up with this upper part, and this one to match up with this lower part. You can see the knot twist here, and I ensure that this upper part, you can see that this upper part is matching up with this after passing it through that 1 inch, and I also ensure that it also matches with this. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my machine now, and I'm going to stitch 0.5 inch. I'll stitch this one and this one together, this and this together. Then remember I stitched this area first and left 1 inch to pass the upper body. So looking at this one, you can see that this part of it, I also ensured it matches up with this. So I'm going to stitch and stitch and stitch, then I'll come back to show you. Alright people, you can see I'm done stitching the twist knot now. The front twist dress, you can see it's ready now. I joined this part with 0.5 inch all through. Okay, this is the knot here. You can see the twists, very beautiful. So follow these steps, you'll be able to get your twist dress done. Remember, I had my first back piece. You remember that was the first thing I cut. So I'm going to place it in the opposite direction. Then I'm going to stitch with 0.5 inch. At the shoulder seam length, I'm going to stitch with 0.5. Then after doing that, I'll also stitch the sides with 0.5. Then after that, you have your twist dress ready. Thank you very much for watching. Please, if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Please like this video, share to family and friends. Thank you for your subscriptions. Turn on your notification bell. More videos are coming. Bye.